Welcome back, everyone, to Sci-Fi Thursday. In today's episode, I'm going to show you how I cover my wood platforms using mat board, and we're going to make it look like metal flooring. I'm also going to show you some tips and techniques for making wall panels. All right, let's get to it. Okay, the first thing we need to do is move some of this stuff out of the way. We're going to be working on the flooring right here. And I've got stuff here that we're going to be using on this wall section. So I'm going to move these, but I'm going to keep them in the same order because that's how I want to put them up on the wall. Okay, we're going to remove this. Okay, the first thing we have to do is make a paper pattern. Okay, my paper pattern is finished, and I just use regular notebook paper because then I can just cut on the lines and just make strips and cut them and tape them all together. Now we'll take this pattern and lay it on our mat board. Okay, here is our mat board, and it's gray mat board. I don't know if you can see, it's white on the other side. And people always ask me, what is mat board? You've seen it probably a million times. It's used for framing pictures. And they usually cut a beveled edge. So this is a green with white on the other side. This is all white. Still has the bevel cut. So we'll position this right on the edge. Okay, I'm going to trace this with a pencil and then cut it out. Notice I put a border around all the floors, and that is the natural color of the mat board, and then we'll paint all those panels. Notice here. So I'm going to cut that now. I'm going to follow that line and cut that off, and then we'll paint this part. Okay, I just drew some panel lines on there. And now I'm just going to score the cardboard with my blade to sort of engrave those lines. So I'm not going to cut all the way through. Okay, I'm taking burnt sienna and bittersweet chocolate. It really doesn't take much of this. And then a lot of water. And we're just painting some of the panels. Okay, I'm using deep ochre, very watered down, and then I put a little bit of the brown into the mix. And we're just going around all the panel lines. And I'm going a little heavier in the corners. And if you want to, you can take a sponge, kind of blend it out. Okay, now we'll take a little bit more of our burnt sienna and so you want to put it right on one of the panel lines. Mix some of the other colors in with it if you want. You can blend it a little bit if you want. Okay, now we'll take the darkest color, bittersweet chocolate, Okay, now let's take a very sharp pencil and go over all of our scribed lines. I don't know if you can tell, but it has a metallic look to it because of the silver paint that we put down. Okay, and I added some rust to the trim. Okay, I got it all glued in place. Now, again, I'm using deep ochre and bittersweet chocolate. Okay, I'm just starting with the ochre, and I've mixed a little bit of the brown in with it. Okay, now we'll go more with the bittersweet chocolate. Okay, now we're going to take some pastel chalks, and there's some orange colors in here. So you can see it all matches pretty good. And you can always take some pastel chalk and just hit some of the edges or corners here and there. Okay, let's work on this back wall. Okay, so as you can see, I've been busy just gluing panels on the wall. And I just simply use super glue. And a bunch of these are off of toy army tanks. And then we have a Nerf gun. I think I cut a bunch of this in a previous episode. But notice it's a cardboard tube in the corner, and I put the cardboard tube there. Now I'm going to cut another one that goes up. It'll go all the way to the ceiling. But it creates height when you do the same color. I could have painted that green, and you'd want that green to go all the way. Okay, now that I've got a bunch of the stuff in place, this is the bottom half of this cylinder here is from the inside of a Nerf gun. The top portion is a mini flashlight. I just glued the two together. Okay, now I've got these plastic rods, and they're from Evergreen. And this is a 16th. They're round. This is an assortment. I don't know, at the time, like this bag was $3.99. And you get eight long pieces. And these are an 1/8 thick. And that was 10 in this bag. And I'll quick show you. We're going to start to connect all this stuff. I'm going to make sure that's the correct height. A little bit shorter. Now we'll paint these after we get them glued on. Now what you can do, this is an accelerator. You could actually spray the area first. And there you go. And you can connect them sideways. Then you can take, I have some of this that is copper tubing, or maybe it's brass, I don't know. You could use either brass or copper and bend it. So go down, over, down. Just keep adding this stuff. Now we'll get that all painted and weathered, but you can see what a difference it makes adding that. Now eventually we're going to make a cutout. I'll laser cut it for the face of that wall that makes it look like there's sliding doors there. And then I'll put it on the other side too. And then we'll cover the inside of that so that you don't see that. It won't be that wide, but it'll look like something similar to that. All right, well, that made a huge difference. All right, we're out of time for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's so easy using mat board and just scrap toy parts and Nerf guns, just cutting things up and gluing them onto your station. And once you get a gray primer on them, it's unrecognizable. You don't even realize that at one time it was part of a toy. All right, I truly hope it inspired you, and I hope you get some modeling done. Until next time, stay motivated and happy modeling, everyone.